Good evening, guys. Welcome to this introductory presentation about Coursevita. So, Coursevita is an innovative learning platform designed to provide flexible and high-quality education to learners worldwide. Our mission is to make learning accessible and manageable, even for the busiest individuals. With a wide range of courses in various fields, there's here for something for everyone. So, Coursevita supports students and professionals globally by delivering top-notch online training in various domains, including data science, data visualization, and data analysis. Our passionate and dedicated team of experts has successfully trained individuals, providing application and industry-oriented learning on trending technologies for free. This approach helps students gain real This approach helps students gain real-world experience, enhancing their skills and improving their placement opportunities. So why should you choose Coursevita in the first? Firstly, our courses are designed to fit into your busy schedule with flexible learning options. The bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn on the go, and the downloadable materials ensure you can study offline whenever you have time. Additionally, our industry-recognized certificates can help you. Our industry can help boost your career prospects. Let's take a look at some of our success stories. Many learners have benefited from Coursevita's programs, with testimonials highlighting significant career advancements and personal growth. These stories demonstrate the real-world impact of our courses and the success our learners have achieved. 8 out of 10 learners are pleased with our courses. Nikita Verma has quoted that Coursevita has a good selection of courses on various topics. The platform itself is user-friendly and easy to navigate. We are glad that she found the content quality to be good overall. And Anvita Chaudhary has quoted that Coursevita is a decent platform if someone is especially looking out for some free introductory courses. She has taken her introduction to business management course, and we are glad that it gave a good starting point to her. Ready to take the next step in your learning journey? So joining Coursevita is so easy. Simply sign up on our website and you'll have access to wealth of resources and courses. We have often special offers and discounts, so be sure to check those out on our social media pages. If you have any questions or need any assistance, our contact information is provided. So please don't hesitate to write us at reach us at coursevita.com. And also make sure to hit a follow and a subscribe button on all our social media platforms so that you'll be staying updated with all the updates we give. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon on Coursevita. Thank you.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. I hope I'm audible. Guys, could you please respond if I'm audible or not?
Yes, Abhishek, like I can hear you.
Thank you so much, Veshwaja. And from the participants end, am I audible, guys? You can use the chat box if I'm audible. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So without any delay, even though we had an intro from Satya, we'll just go ahead and start the session. We have our wonderful instructor, Vishwaja Reddy. Over to you, Vishwaja Reddy.
Yeah. Second. So, hello everyone. Good evening. So, I'm Vishwaja. I've been working in corporate from since 5 years, and I started my journey in data science. So, I'm working as a senior data scientist in an MNC. So it's been more than 5 years since I'm working as a data science, and more than 2 years I started my journey as a tutor in data science. So today let's understand what is like Excel for data analytics. So how we are using Excel in day-to-day analysis of data analysis and the data science. And here you will also understand like how this data helps us to make the decision. So how we are using the decisions driven skills from the Excel. And you can please please mute yourself. Like if you have anything, you can unmute and you can tell. I can hear the background noise. Guys, if you have anything, only just unmute. Otherwise, it's a disturbance for everybody. Mayuri, hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Visuja.
Okay, one second. Okay, so I'm Vishija. I'm Vishija. I've been working as a senior data scientist in an MNC. So it's been more than 5 years since I'm working in data science, and more than 2 years I've been working as a data science tutor. And like today we are going to discuss Excel for data analytics. So here let's try to understand like how the Excel skills are important for the data science, and how the data driven decisions are we using in day-to-day projects, and how the data helps us to like how we are using Excel for manipulating and interacting with the Excel. So let's understand and go deep dive into Excel today. So I'll try to share my screen, just a second. Can you see my screen? Abhishek, just let me know like
Yes, Visuja. Screen is visible.
sure. Then I'll start. Okay, let's understand Excel for data analytics. And today's our agenda is like why we are using Excel for data analysis, and what are the like let's try to understand from the basics, like what are the basics of Excel, and like we will also understand like how advanced we have in Excel also. So let's understand like what are the functions we are using in Excel, and let's also go deep dive into pivot tables and pivot charts, macros and VBA, which is like an advanced thing in Excel. So why we are using Excel normally? So Excel, as we know, like Excel is a powerful tool for the data analysis, and we are using it to manipulate, analyze, and visualize the large amount of the data. And it also helps us to understand data quickly and easily. So if you have, let's say, 10,000 rows of the data and 10,000 to 10 lakhs, then what you'll do, like if you see a huge data chunk, and if you want to manipulate, or if you want to add, or if you want to um, do some manipulations, then directly with the huge data you can't do. So when you are using the Excel with the functions and the pivot tables, that helps you to understand the data quickly. So here the Excel is widely being used in all the industries like finance and accounting, and majorly in terms of marketing and sales. So it is one of the statistical function where we are using Excel tool for easy understanding of the data. So let's also see like how we are using the Excel. So I'll try to open, and let's do something like a practical examples. So if you see an empty sheet, let me just show you. So here, if you are trying to understand like what is Excel, so all these things, we have file, home, and we have different buttons. All these things are called as a ribbon tabs. So in each ribbon, you have something like home, you have something like insert, you have different tabs. Let's see what are those ribbons and how you can understand the ribbon. So if you see this, so this is like a ribbon tab. Here you have home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, view, etc. So if you see in the front, like you can also use it for saving the data, undo, redo here. So let's see. So now also let's go into directly into the Excel before going to the PPT. So here you can see the sheet 7 data set, sheet 5, sheet 4. So you have different sheets. These are called worksheets. You can see I'm changing to one worksheet to other worksheet. So the whole thing which you can see here, you will call it as a workbook. So let's say this is a workbook. Now I'm opening a different workbook. Sorry, this is the sheet and the overall together called as a workbook. Let's say workbook is nothing but here I've been labeled as an Excel practice assignment. So now we are calling this as an Excel workbook. These are like a Excel sheet, worksheets. So now let's try to understand the basic things. Before that, like you might have like a different kinds of Excel levels. Let's understand, like go to the, like before starting, you can also do hands-on with me in parallelly. Just we are trying to see which version of Excel you are doing. So if you have like a old version, so few things are like not there, like not present in your worksheet. Let's see, like you can also check like what is your worksheet here. Just go to options in this option, just go to the customize ribbon. So first I went to file. From the file, go to the options, and options you have like customized ribbon. From that, if you see here, for the few people you don't have something tab like a developer. Let's say if I don't have developer tab, then you can see you will not have that particular ribbon here. But when you are using high level calculations, like mostly in the data analysis, we need something like a developer tab. So that's why let's go to the options, then customize ribbon and click the developer. Okay. Then if you press that developer tab, then you can automatically see the developer tab here. Is it fine? I can see the chat. Just let me know if you have older versions, then we can also see how you are using the developer tabs or not. Okay. So from the first beginning file, in the file, what you have, generally it's like a home page. So you might have like blank, like if you want to add an extra workbook, or if you want something blank workbook, you can directly add from here. Otherwise, you have prefixed templates also here in the workbook. So in the prefixed templates, if you want something like marketing budgeting, or like if you want to plan something, you can directly use this templates. So if you want to build something from the scratch, you can take the blank and you can use. Or if you want to search the previous notebooks also, you can search here. So here I'll go a bit fast for the basic topic because the basics we know. And in the advanced and in other topics, like we can go a bit slower and let's understand. And if you have doubts also, like we can discuss in between. Okay. So these are like again save and save as for the same. Let's understand save and save as also. Like suppose if you are doing for like if you want to save some Excel file. So let's say you have Excel in Excel also for saving, you have different types of workbooks. Let's say here you have only numerical numbers. Then what you can do is like you can directly do into a workbook. Let's say you are using some scripting language like Python, or like if you want to do some high level language, you will have comma separated values also. So then you have to use CSV file. So saving is also in a different way. Let's say you are working on something like macros, like that is an advanced level in the Excel. So you should save the workbook as like a macro enabled workbook only. So you can't save macros in the normal workbook, because like whichever the activities you did in that macros, that will not be saved in a normal workbook. So that's why you should be more specific while saving also. Like if you are saving something in CSV, just go it in CSV only. Normal things in normal Excel only. So let's understand the save. This is about the save and save as. This is about the file tab. And now let's go to the home tab. In the home tab, so just I'm taking a So this is a normal data set which I've taken. So let's understand basic things which are like copy, paste. So we feel like copy and paste is like a simple thing, but let's understand like how we can do mistakes in copy pasting, and like how we can avoid those mistakes also. So let's say here I have a highlighted cell. Let's do it like this. I'm trying to copy A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So let's also understand like we have something like rows and columns in Excel. So if I'm saying like if something is like 4900, this is like a cell. Like if I'm taking cell is the combination of rows and columns. So let's say this is combination of G and 2. So that's why we are calling it as an G2. So let's see, these are the cells again. Now I'm trying to copy all the rows of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So I've copied all the columns and whichever the rows we have. And here, if I'm trying to copy, so let's say I'm copying. If I want to paste here, so the normal way is like I can directly paste like this. So Control C and Control V is like a shortcut. So if I want to paste directly, so once it is pasting. So now what I did is like I just gave like a copy and paste. But the thing is like I want in normal numbers. Like I don't want something like a violet, and I don't want something in a orange color. So then what I'll do? So instead of pasting like Control V, now I'll try to paste as special. So let's see what is paste as special. So if you want to select something, like you can also do like Control A. So Control A is nothing but you are trying to select all the rows and columns which is present in this particular table. So Control A is nothing but selection of all. So now I have just selected, I did not copy. Now I've selected and I've copied. If it is copied, like you can see this lines. And now if I want to paste here, I'll use something like values. I want just values. So you can see like you just got something like values, like I did not get in terms of this. Suppose whenever you are doing any manipulation, like you have to paste in values only, because let's say if you directly copy and paste here, if I change this one, like if I change east into something west or something, so in real time data, what happens is like there will be a data disturbances. So whichever the value you're copying, that might be go into a wrong way. So that's why you should not create any data disturbance. So that's why you have to every time, like it's better to use paste in values only. Like paste as a special case you can use, and you can directly go, like let's say I'm copying this. You have something like values, you like if you have something like formulas, let's say I'm using for the salary, if I use like some x into y, then you can directly paste something in formulas. Like if you paste as direct values or values, instead of that you should be very specific when you are trying to paste as well. Let's say now what I did is like, here I have something, let's say I have names. I've copied the names which are in vertical. Now I want to paste in a horizontal way. So we also have something like transpose. If I click the transpose, what happened? Whichever the columns which are in vertical, it was almost converted into horizontal. So like that, you can convert into horizontal to vertical, vertical to horizontal. That means rows into columns, columns into rows. So transpose helps us. So this is the basic things for the Excel, like which is nothing but like cut, copy, paste. Cut is nothing but like if you want to cut this, like you're copying and you're so cut is nothing but you're just removing the name or removing the element from that particular cell, and you're just copying and paste. So instead, like if you don't want that information, you can cut, like you can copy, you can cut, and then you can paste. Let's say you want that for the again for the reference, so it is better to just copy and just paste. So cut is nothing but like you're almost deleting the cell, so you must ensure like how you are copying, pasting, and everything. So just this is the cut, and this is like copy and the paste. Like when you copy a cell, you will automatically direct into the paste. So it is better to use the shortcuts like Control C, Control V, and Control X. So this is like font, like if you want to change your font size, or if you want to improve the cell, like I've increased the font size, and if you want a different font also, like you can change your font. It's just like if you having any heading, like you can use the bold, and then you can use like if you have something a different special, like you can use italic. So underline, like if I say like I want to highlight this one, I want to underline because it is my heading, then you can use heading with an underline. So like these are the common things which we can use in the alignments and the fonts. So let's say here I've just copied and pasted. I want something in terms of table. Let's say now I'm copying, like I'm selecting this one, and then I'll say, okay, I need all borders. So all borders, it is nothing but like you're making into table. So if you want to make something into table, you can use this one. You can use like if you want a bottom border, top border, or if you want no border. Like if you have some table, you say I don't want any border lines, or if you want thick border lines. So in this way, like you can modify all these things, and if you want to erase the border also, you can use this. So just select and erase. It is nothing like if you directly select this one, like you will not get anything. First select this, and then you can use it, which is like thick borders or thin borders or erase borders. So now you can see the borders are erased. So in this way, again, like you can also fill, like if you want to highlight, let's say I want to highlight this one because this is my names, like this is my headings. Then I'll say, okay, I'll highlight with a different background. And I can also change the font colors, let's say green. And I want to highlight into bold. So this is where, like, if you want to highlight something and if you want to show, okay, this is my header, this is my first name, this is my last name, then you can use the font. And alignments is also nothing but like, let's say, this is like if you have some text. I'll go to text one. See, one more thing is like when you have the huge data set, let's say here, I'm I'm just scrolling. So this is the last limit of your Excel cell. So that is nothing but you have 10 lakh rows. So that means like if there is like huge data, then your functioning of the Excel becomes bit slow. So that is also like if you press double times, that will have no use. Just wait and let it load, and then you can reuse it properly. So let's say here I've taken some text. I want the text alignments into left, middle, and right. Center, you can do it. So let's say I want center. I want it from the left side, right side. So you can use the different text alignments. Like let's say you are writing some text and you want to show it as a heading, or you want to show it as a subset of what you did, like for the calculation you did, and you want to show this is the output for this. So then like if you want some alignments like left side, center, right side, then you can use this. Let's say if you want, and here you have like a huge line, like this is occupying all the cells. So I want to read it in a normal cell. Then what I'll do, I'll select this one and I'll say wrap the text. So now what it is doing, instead of cell which is like matter which is present in all the cells, it is converting it to the whole cell. So this is like this. So now if I'm trying to double click this one, so then it is going to its normal position. So if you have 2-3 lines in a vertical row, so then you can convert everything into a single one. Let's say here also I have 2 cells. So I don't want to see it in 2 cells. I just want to see it in a single cell. Then what I'll do, I'll try to merge the cells. Merge the cells is nothing but, instead of having, let's say here you have T and U. What I did is like I tried to merge the cells. So the 2 cells became one. Like that, I can try to merge like 3-4 cells into a single cell. So that like you can, whenever you're keeping something like a header, like headings, you can give it there. So is it clear? Or yeah, like if you have any doubts, like we can discuss in the end of the session, and we can have some Q&A sessions. Okay, just note down your questions and like we can discuss in the end. Oh, so now coming to numbers. So what are the numbers we can use? So before that, main thing is like I just said, like this is like save. You can also use control plus S both at a time. Like you are using control and S, then you can directly save this. And it is always a better option to use an auto save. You just on this, then you will try to automatically save your file. Like every time, let's say you did one table, like in this sheet, I did some changes. I went to the second sheet, I did some changes. So I forgot to save. Then what happened, like when you directly close and when you come back in the next day, so whatever the changes you did, that will not appear in that. So that's why it is always better to do an auto save. That helps, like if you directly close the sheet also, it is automatically saved. So whichever the last update you did, that when you, it can be reflected whenever you open. So it is advised to use an auto save and save. If you have only single save, and save also I showed you in like how you can save in the different methods. So, and one more important thing is like you have something like undo and redo. Let's say I have, like I copied here, I just merged into like 2 cells into a single cell. What I want is like I don't want a single cell, I want to go back into my previous action. Then what I'll do control plus Z. Control plus Z is nothing but I'm doing like undo. Undo is like you're backing the test, like you're going backward. So let's say if you want to go forward, like I did 2-3 steps, I want to go to the forward step only, I don't want to come back, then I can use redo. So undo is nothing but, let's say what redo is doing is like it is showing into the again forward step. backward step and forward step. Let's say I don't want this one. I want to go back into previous step. Then I'll use undo. Undo is nothing but control plus Z. And if you want something like control plus R, I want to go, no, I felt like this previous step I don't want, then I want to go to the present step, then you can do it. Control plus R. So it is always better to use shortcuts for effective activities. So this is about the font and alignments are done. Then let's understand like how we are using the number formats. So here, if you see, you have so many formats also. So let's say you have general, number, currency, accounting, dates. Like in dates also, you have different dates like short date, long date. And why it is showing Chitra is because like I've selected this cell and I've opened this one. So let's go back. I'm selecting this one. So now what I'm doing, if I want to select the whole thing, like if I want to select the whole R, that means the salary, the whole R is I'm selecting. So now if I select this one and then I go back, then you can see this is the like salary is in a numerical number. So that's why it is showing a number. So let's also see this one, L. So L is nothing but like, let's say, so I went to like I've copied like 49,000 and I want something like I want to change that 14 because it is a salary. I want to see something in terms of currency. I want to see in terms of rupees. Then what can I do? Like I can convert into like currency. So let's say I want the whole R, like whole salary. Now what happened? The whole salary, whichever the number which is present in a numerical number, it is converted into your currency. So it is better like if you have some like if you want to understand in a better things, like you can use currency, or like if you're doing something in a calculation, let's say I don't want to calculate with the dollar or rupee, then you can go back and you can keep in a general. General is nothing but it will not specify whether it is number or currency. So if I want specific number, like I want only calculations, then I'll use like a 49,000. So here this is like higher date, and like whenever in the conversion, see, for the practical example, higher date is nothing but this is 12th December 2004. But when you just write directly like copy and paste, what happened? It is giving some random number. You can see. So instead of date, it is just giving some error number. So that's why give me a second. So I just copied. Formula. So now if I do it in terms of values. So after getting into values, now if I try to convert into short date or long date, date is changing to date. From the number, it is trying to change into a date. So see, this is the short date. Like I just have like it is like 12th December 2004. Here you have something like expansion of that one, Sunday, December 2004. So again, it depends upon like if you want short date, you can keep it, or long date, you can keep it. Let's say I don't want short and long. I just want like something like 12 DEC and this only. So then what I'll do, I'll go to more number of formats. Then I'll see like custom. So custom is nothing but you can directly customize your dates, like whichever the date you have. Let's say if I want something like hours and minutes, then I'll use like this month, date, and year. So if I use this one, what happens is like you will automatically get from which, like let's say 12 p.m. or like 12:30. So here I want is 12. 12 is nothing but D. DDMMY. DD YY. Otherwise, like you can check, like here you have a lot of options. So here you can change. This is like if I'm saying like DDMMYY, I got this. Now let's say I don't want I want October 1st. I don't want like 1st October. Then what I'll do? This is like first date, month, year. I'll convert into month, date, and year. Let's go for this example. So there I'll give, I want month, date, and then year also I want like 2014, something like full year. So you can see the sample here. 10th is nothing but the October. So like you can change it to a different ways. Like you can customize your dates, and you can, because let's say today you did an activity which has the date in this pattern. Like let's say you have something date in this pattern. Let's say you want to add it into a different sheet. Then what happens? A different sheet contains this date. So first thing is like when you are trying to merge these two sheets, then because like you already have the common dates also, you can't add because the date format is different. So it's always better to keep a single date format. So that's why you have to change everything into like the numbers. Like if you have numbers, just change into number. If you have decimals, change into decimals. Then only if you have dates. So most of the issues you will get with the date only, like in the manipulation of the data. So the date might be in a different pattern. So that's why it is better to see the date first, the pattern, and then otherwise you can just go to the custom and keep your standard format. Let's say I don't want to see any particular dates. I just fix to any DDMMYY. So I'll keep a custom format, and then I'll use that for only if the data is added, if the data exists or everything, then I'll keep it in a particular format. So that is about date. So date is an important thing for the data manipulations. And let's say this is again dollars. Like if you want to keep it into dollars, or let's say I want Chinese, so Chinese rupee, euros. So you can convert the dollar conversion. And like if I want to create something into percentage, so let's say so in here, like before I got an error, right? So it is nothing but like you have the less size, the cell size is less, and whichever the words you have is like huge. So that's why it is better to increase the width of the cell, then it will be more clear. Let's say I'll go to a different sheet. So here you can see. So here you have different neighborhood, let's say neighborhood. So the cell size is less. Like I don't want to change for each and individual. Let's say I'm changing the G, I'm changing the H. If you have like 100 rows, or sorry, if you have 100 columns, then what you do? So that is difficult for each and every times to use like the single pattern to increase and decrease. So then what you can do is like you can click here, this button, which is in the triangle shape, and you can do a double tap here. So if I now just see, after doing the double tap, like whichever the cells you have, 1 second, select all and double tap. Now you can see clearly neighborhood, neighborhood, and neighborhood group. So just if you click here, it will automatically select all the cells, then only do it. So if you click only single cell and then if you do, it will not give. So that is again cell alignments. Like if you want to increase the cell size, decrease the cell size, that is again different case. So let's see. So this is about the number formatting in general. So here, let's say, let's go back to our thing. Here I have a decimal points. So decimal I want to increase up to the decimals into four decimals. Let's say increasing the decimals. I'm trying to increase. So here you can see from the 2 decimals, you have increased to 4. You can decrease the decimals. Let's say I don't want to use the decimals, then you can. Sometimes for a few numbers, you have up to 3 digits, and some numbers you can get it to 2 digits. So if like according to the requirements, like you can increase and you can decrease the decimals also. So that's about the decimals. And let's understand this is an important topic, like which is like a conditional formatting. So whenever you want to showcase your data set to somebody, then you have like you can use some specific like if you want to highlight some cells and if you want to showcase, then you can use something like conditional formatting. Formatting is nothing but like highlighting the cells. Like you can from like let's say if you want any information, you can just read from the whichever the below pop up, like below notification itself. It is only showing, let's say, conditional formatting is nothing but you have the trends and patterns in your data using the color bars, like colors, bars, and icons, which helps us to highlight the data. So let's see. Now I'm trying to select Control A. That means I've selected whole sheet. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to conditional formatting. So here what we have is like we have different things. Like if you want to highlight cells, in that highlighting cells also, if you want to see in terms of text or numbers or dates or duplicates, you can see. One second. Okay, here we have something like price. Now in the price, what I'll do is nothing. I'll go to the price. So this is nothing but you have rules also. In the price, I'll say I want to highlight something which is greater than 600. So I want to check the prices which are greater than 600, and I am trying to highlight the cells using a different color. Let's say red text, or like you can also highlight with the red color. And I'll say okay. Now here you can directly see like which are like high and constructed year. Here I want to see the constructed year which is less than 2005. Like I don't want to use a 2005, so I want to remove the 2005. Let's say I'm using a different color, let's say yellow. Now see, you can see 2004 is highlighted, and you can also use like less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or just equal. Like if I want to search in the true or false, I just want to know text that contains, because this is text and we can use like text. And then I'll try to highlight with the custom format is nothing but like if you want to see it with like bold or like different font, and if you want to increase size also you can do. I'll say okay and okay. Sorry. So that is nothing but like you're trying to highlight which are the text. You can also highlight through the numbers with the given condition. You are giving the condition and you're trying to highlight. So like you can also see in terms of date, like which is like repetitive date, and duplicate is nothing but which is repeated. Like you want only original values, you don't want duplicate values. Let's say in the 10 rows, 8 are original and 2 are duplicates. It will highlight you the duplicate one which are repeated twice. So if you want to create more rules apart from this, then also you can customize your rules and like you can keep it and you can highlight the cell. So this is also like if you have, let's say in the class of 10th class, I want to understand like who are the top 10% students. Then directly what I'll do, I'll go who are top 10 or like bottom 10 who are like the last performers or who are performing better. And I can also see something like above average, below average directly from here. Similarly, for the highlighting only, you will have something like color bars. Let's say in this fee, I use color bar of yellow color. So this bar is indicating like if the value is high, you will have a high bar. If the value is less, then the bar is low. So it is just an indication. So according to the requirements, you can showcase in terms of icons or like color scales or data bars, or you can clear. Let's say I don't want this. I want to clear the rules. Then what I'll do, I'll clear. What happened? Whichever the rule, whichever the highlighted cell or the rule you have created, that's like you are deleting that one, you're clearing that one. So this is about formatting. And let's understand like what is format as a table. I'll go to a normal sheet. Okay, as I said, like if you want to create, like if you want to add the cells, what you can do is like, let's say here and if I want to add new sheet, what I'll do a plus. So that means the plus is created. That's where you are adding a new sheet. Or you can also just click the left button, like left mouse button, and then you can see if you want to insert or delete. Like let's say here I have a empty sheet. Then what I'll do, I don't want this empty. Then I'll try to delete. So it will ask like if you want to delete from this permanently. So let's say this is my main button, like main tab. I want to highlight. So I just want to see somewhere highlighted colors and I'll say, okay, this is my home button. So let's say this is a different sheet. Then what I'll do, I'll go and I'll just rename. This is like sheet 2. Like here you have sheet 2. Then I'll say like duplicate. This is like empty. I can just name it as an empty or home data set like that, and I can just see. So if you see this table, I'm trying to select the table. I want to highlight whole table. Then what I'll do? This is a color font. Like if you want to highlight in light way or medium color or like dark contrast, then you can use in a different. Now what happened, the entire table is like conditional formatted. So if you want only cell to highlight, let's say I'm taking only salary cells, then I'll say like I just want only salary. So this is about like if you want only cell, this is about the whole table. So that's about the styling and cells. Till you're like are you clear or any doubts? Please repeat the border topic. Okay. So just let me check the. So here I've taken out, like I've copied and pasted a table. Let's say I'm selecting the whole thing, and then like if I want, this is already a border table. So previously I don't have borders in the bottom. Now you can see I just did, like you can go to this borders and you can select, like I don't want the whole lines, I just want no borders. See here the cells, you don't have any border lines. Now again I'll select this one, the whole thing, and I'll go back and I'll say I want only borders for my top. I don't want if for everything. So you have only the top line. Like that, borders, you can keep it for top, bottom, left, right. And like you can use, like if something is there, you can use no borders, thick borders. And in that also, you can use the variation according to yours. So line colors also, like if I want to change the different line color, like I should see, you can see the line color is also changing. So that means the border of the line is also changing. That's where you can customize more. And I'll say erase the border line and the border lines. And this is like line style, different patterns. So that's about the font. And this is more about like we are in home page. So most of the things were covered from the home page. Let's also go deep dive in a important topic, that is like sorting and filtering. So I'm taking a huge data set. So if I want to count like number of cells, then what I'll do, I'll just select the A. Then in the down, like I can see what is count of that particular A and what is the sum of the sum of it and what is an average of it. Like we can discuss this functions later. Just I want to show you here I have 21,000 cells. Like here I have something like 21,000 rows for this particular sheet. In the 21,000, let's say if I want to understand which is like a highest price. So just now I did a conditional formatting, then I got like what are the highlighted ones. Now if I want to just understand like which are like highest price and which is like lowest price, then what I'll do, then we have something like for the editing, for the manipulation of the data only we are using all these things. So you can also use like sort and filter to organize the data. Let's say I want to filter first. Like if you filter the data itself, you will get the top one. Let's say if I want to filter, I'll select this. So here, like I've selected the price, it will show A to Z and Z to A. A to Z is nothing but you are trying to sort in terms of lowest to highest value or highest to lowest value. So let's say I sorted for lowest value. Now what happened, like here you will also have so I'll just show you. Let's say private room. Let's see whether you are just sorting this O column or like you are just sorting the entire sheet. So now what I'll do again, I'll go for the price, then I'll say I'll sort it from highest to lowest. Now what you see, this is not only sorting only just the column, it is also changing the entire sheet. So you have to check whenever you are trying to sort the value, you have to make ensure like you are changing only one cell, like only one column or the entire sheet. Now here you can see the entire sheet has changed. Just now I have highlighted because like I want to show whether we are doing sorting for a single one or if I go back, now I can see. So this is where you are sorting entire sheet. So here this is 50 price and you will have all the list of items. Then I want to, let's say, I want to filter only verified persons here. Then what I'll do, I'll use filter. filter. Here what happening, like here you got a pop-up filter button. It is showing me what are the columns: unconfirmed, verified, and blanks. So if you have blanks, like if the name is missing, like if the value is missing, then it will show you blank or NA, or like if it is like comma, full stop also, it will show you here. Let's say I want only verified. Now you can see I got only verified, like I filtered the verified one, and I'm also checking like verified host whose price is like less, or else I can see like who is the highest person, like who has the highest one to sort. 1 second. Now I got the highest price person, his construction year, and I also got like he is also verified. Like if you have any certain condition to understand who is highest among all, then you first thing is like you should understand the data. So let's say here we have a data set. Then what you should see, let's say we have the names, host, and we have something like latitude, longitude, and I can also see here construction, rooms, price. That means here somewhere we are thinking this is like a house data. Here house rules, availabilities, and all these things. So first you have to understand the data according to the problem statement. Then like you can filter, and whichever the questions you have, then you can easily just understanding the data is important. And let's also see, let's say here I freeze this column. Here every time, like let's say I want beautiful central, this name, if I am changing and if I'm looking, this is difficult. Again I have to scroll back to the initial phase, again I'm scrolling to the left side, right side. This is confusion. So now what I'll do, I want to fix the name. So here we have in the view, you have something like freeze. Let's say freeze the first column, freeze the top. I just unfreezed it. Now you can see this is fixed. Everything is changed. So like if you have the name and you want to see, let's say this ID, I want to understand the ID's review. So what I'll do, just now I fixed the ID, then I'll know, okay, this ID's house rule is this particular thing, and this availability is this one. So like that, you also have an option to unfreeze also. In the view, go to view. Just go to view and say in the freeze, you are saying unfreeze. See, now you don't have any fixed column. So just if you want to understand the data, and if you want to say first line, I want to see what is the name, and iska name ka like how, what are the rules, how many rooms I have, then freeze it and then you can view. So everything is in the view. Here also zoom in, zoom out also, like if you want to zoom, like like if I want to see the entire page, you can see the small letters, right? So you can see 74. Zoom out and zoom in. And in that likewise, and you can also see the navigation buttons, freeze, new buttons, all the buttons here. So now we are done with the home tab. We are also completed the view tab. Let's go into the further tabs. Okay, like in the last also, like we can discuss and we can see, like if you have any questions, just mention the topic you want, like we can discuss in the end and we can go back. And this Excel is also like it is a bit slow, so that's why the loading is taking slow. Okay, So here I will zoom out a bit. So it is like highly zoomed out. I'll come to here. Okay. So now let's also understand, let's say, see the shortcuts also important. Like if you want shortcut, Control Alt L, filter and unfilter. Like you can also learn like how to sort and how to not sort. Okay. So let's say just now we saw this is like 21,000 rows and we have so many columns. So I want to understand here. I want to understand like I want only few simple table. Like I want a simplified table so that I can see for which name, what is the criteria, like what are the number of rooms, or like what is the price and what is the construction year. Like I want only few features from this. I don't want not the huge data. I just want only few features. Then what I'll do, just I'll use a pivot table. That pivot table, what it does is like it will try to arrange the complex data into a meaningful table. Let's say now if I want to select the table first, what I'll do is like I'll try to select, like I'll go to the pivot table, and the pivot table just select that one. Here it is asking me whether you want to select the sheet, so table or range. So I've selected the whole sheet. Here you can see the data set sheet is entirely selected, and it is asking me like if you want to see the pivot table in the new sheet or existing sheet. Now already this existing sheet is like huge, so I want something in the new worksheet. Then I'll say okay. And what happens, the entire data is here, you can see. So from this I'll try to see here filter. In the filter, what are the options I want? Let's say host verified. Just now I filtered like which is verified or not. So I want names in terms of rows. So these are the names which I have. I also want to see last review. I'll put it in columns. So it's loading. So the whichever the blue button you can see, that is like it's still running, because that's a huge data. It will take some time to load and it takes some times to shift. So here you can see populating the pivot table report. So when the data is huge, sometimes you will get like okay, it's already loaded. And I'll say I want room type also. I want construction year in the filters, like in the filters, and price is the value which I'll take in terms of values, because price is like it's a numerical number. You can take in terms of, now you can see. So as it is a huge data, you can see like this. So I'll say I'll try to filter only one look. Here I have so many values. So what I'll say, select multiple. So from the multiple is nothing but if I want all, it will select all, but I want only specific 2020 and 2019. then I'll go back to only 2020 and 2019. So you can see in this also I can select, like here, let's say it is giving me all the options. So I'll say only classic luxury. You have an option of classic luxury. I select only this particular house. This is select all. If you double click it, it will unselect everything and it will give you empty rows. I'm just double clicking it. I'm randomly selecting 2-3 different names. So you can see out of all, like those things are empty. So here I got only limited. So this is the name. This is the sum of the price in 2019. And I'm also saying like you can also see the grand total as well as the total here. So I'm going back. I just want to show you certain conditions. See, when you select the pivot table itself, it will show you the pivot table analyzed. So you can also modify all the sheets and you can also see, let's say, pivot charts or like recommended things. So sheet 9 is nothing but like whenever I took the data from data set, here it is pasted in the new sheet. So it's important to check, or like you can also see, you can rename it as like a practice or pivot. You can use something like this, pivot 1, pivot 2. Like if you want to use 2-3 pivots in a table also you can do. Like right from the original data is not affected. So only you have taken the sample out of original data. Let's also see with another example with a better understanding. If I want to shift to another tab also, I can use here. So let's say create a pivot table in the current sheet to show the total amount spent by each country. So this is the question you have. Like if I want to get like according to the requirements, if I want to select, what I'll do, just I'll go to insert. In insert you have pivot tables. In the pivot table, let's say you can select, like if you want only specific thing, I can directly go and select shift and arrows left button, down button. So I'm holding the shift. You can see everything is selected, and then I'll say okay, table. And here the question is like you want the pivot table in current sheet. So I'll say no new sheet. I just want in the same existing sheet, and it is asking me the location. So location is nothing but like it is already, this set is already occupied. So I'll say like I want pivot table in this. So then I'll say okay. So here you can see I'll scroll according to the requirements. So current sheet and show the total amount spent by each country and the type of food order. Let's say for the type, like here we want something like country, and you can adjust like accordingly, like you want in rows or columns according to the problem statement, food ordered. So you can also use the order ID, product, amount, because here we want to understand the total amount. Amount is here, each country. I can also see So like different ways, like for according to your understanding, you can keep in rows or columns. Let's say I'm keeping like this. So this is nothing but like if this is like a sub opening sub tab. So if you say like I don't want order ID, here you have an option. Let's say, see, whenever you click this only, you will get back the pivot table. Otherwise, you will not find the pivot table. Just go to here, then see, I'm going to the option down option here. You can see the remove field. So because I don't want order ID, that's why I'm trying to remove the field. So it is automatically deleted. So otherwise, like this is shifting and just pulling and placing it. So if you don't want all these things, also you can directly click here. It will not show. Let's say I'm filtering the category also. Let's say fruits and vegetables. Here, if you want to understand for food ordered, let's say I want something more specific in terms of I just want only vegetable persons. So then I'll select only category vegetables and the vegetables and what is the ordered amount. In the Australia, I'll say this is amount. And here, if I want to sort this, like I want to sort the amount, like I want to see who is spending more. So here you have something 9,000, 2,000, 8,000, 4,000. It is not in a regular way. So I want to sort the values. So for the sorting the values also, you have the different ways. So here it is like adjusting tool, like you can also shift in the navigation buttons. Just I want to see in a clear picture, so I've changed. One second. Okay. So let's say I want to get the sum of all the amount, or like you can also change something into count of all, or like average of all, or you can say what is the maximum one. So from the amount, I've selected the maximum, and like you are seeing here, okay. So this is nothing but it is doing like here you can see. I'll show you separately. It is adding here. I've selected the vegetables. So that means in the vegetables from the given table, let's say here you have carrot, broccoli, you have beans. So here it is trying to add the amount. So it is adding the 42708370 and adding all the vegetables and just giving me the sum of Australia, like whichever the country you have. So that is like if you take the sum, it is adding all the values. If you take the minimum, maximum, it will give you like minimum is nothing but from all the vegetables in the Australia, you will get the minimum value. Maximum is nothing but out of all the vegetables in particular country, you are getting a different value. Like that, you have like according to the given requirements, you can use the different things. So let's say you can also use something like product, and if you want to go in deep and you can understand, see here in the Australia, this is broccoli, that's why you're getting this one. Okay, so this is spelling mistake. See, you can also see li and lli. Like if you give a wrong spelling also, it will show you in a different segment. So that's where like a pivot table is nothing but when you have the large data, you want to simplify your data. And like if you have some problem statements like this, like you can simplify and write into like you can count and you can get the whichever the information you want. So this is about the pivot table. In the pivot table, you also have something like pivot charts also. So let's discuss in the later part like why we are using charts in Excel. So this is about pivot. And let's go to, so the important of all the things for the Excel is nothing but formulas. Formulas function in Excel. Let's go back to PPT. So the data wrangling, mostly whichever the wrangling is nothing but data manipulation, extraction, and all those things. So we did like cut, copy, paste, and conditional formatting. Let's also understand what are the logics we can use for the functions, text, like how we are using the text functions, date functions, lookup values. So let's understand what is I'll share you this PPT later. Just I want like whichever the things which I've mentioned in the Excel, you can see here. So functions and formulas. So formula is nothing but it is an expression which helps us to calculate the particular value. Let's say formula and function is nothing but formulas are giving like addition, subtraction, minimum, maximum, sum. You want to do some uh, operation which helps the values to give in a certain way. Like functions are like predefined formulas which are already available in Excel. So formula is nothing but if you know addition means a plus b, you have to give a plus b. For function is sorry, formula is like you have a plus b, a minus b, a into b. Function is nothing but already Excel have the predefined formulas for that. Let's see what are the predefined formulas which are existed in the Excel. Nothing but functions. So in the functions also you have a different functions. Let's go back to Excel. So the pivot table is done. Now I'm moving to, so at the end of the session, I'll share you this Excel sheet that helps you to practice all these things, like understand like what are the duplicate values and what are the functions which we can use here. I'll share this. Let's see. Data. So if you see the formulas here, you have different kind of formulas and different kinds of functions. Let's understand how many functions are there in the Excel. So if you have numerical numbers, you have something like basic, sum, average, count, minimum, maximum, and you can also see more functions in terms of like if you have rectangle, if you want to find what is the area, if you want to go in deeper way also, like you can have the different functions for the numerical numbers. So if I want to see something like text, so for the text also, like text is nothing but here I have the customer name. For the customer name, which is in the categorical text format, you can also have those formulas here, functions. So if you have something in terms of date and time, how you can manipulate the date and time, that those are functions here. And you also have something like VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And if you want to go deep into the mathematical formulas like cos theta, sine theta, and a decimal point, LCM, log, this is like a high level calculations. You can use the maths and trigonometry functions and more functions. A logic is nothing but like if you want to keep some conditions like if condition or condition, if else, all these things are in terms of logical. So we are going to see the mathematical functions, logical function, text, and date and time. Let's go in one by one. So let's say this is my basic functions. You have nothing but sum, count, everything. See, I have this data. So I want to understand how many order IDs we have in this particular sheet. Then what I'll do, if I want to understand how many and what is the sum of the revenue of that particular ID, we should find. So first thing is like I want to count what is the total thing. So we have something like count. Count is a function. I'll use is equals to, is like when you are defining any function, you have to use is equal to count. And then I'll say values, like whichever the values I want. Like let's say I want to calculate only certain things till 5, like 10. So this is where you have selected particular rows. Then I'm closing this one and I'm asking. So how many rows you have selected? Like you can see, this is like 10 rows. I have selected 10. Now, if I want something for whole B, I want to find, then what I'll do? For the B, if I want, I'll say count of, I'm selecting the whole thing. Then what it will give you? It is giving me a 340. 340 is nothing but I'm selecting the whole column B. So now the shortcut is nothing but, like you can also see here in the down, I've selected the B, then only I got the count. This is showing 341 because it is also adding the order ID. So apart from the order, like this is heading. So we don't want heading. So if you want to understand how many things, you just ignore the first row, then you can see 340. So let's say again, now I want sum of all the order IDs which are existing in this sheet. Then what I'll do, sum is equals to sum, and I'll open the bracket and I'll say I want whole H because that is giving me a revenue table. Then I'll say it is giving me, this is the number for all the sheets. Now I'll say, no, I don't want all. I just want only the 5. Then what I'll do, I'll say sum of whichever the particular thing. Let's say I have selected only 5 rows from the revenue. You can see this is different and this is different because here I'm selecting whole H. Here I'm just selecting the whole only 5. If you want whole number, like you can directly select the H and you can see the sum. But if you want specified number, you don't have any shortcuts. You just have to select this. See, if I select this one, you have to select in a proper way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can see 740, 639, 740, comma 639. So when you select any particular thing only, then you can get the particular sum. Like if you have specific conditions, so then I'll say I want average of all this 5, or like I want average of H. Then I'll do average is nothing but is equals to AVG. It's an average of H. Why it is giving me average value here? Because I'm selecting the revenue without revenue. So now I have to select average of whole thing. So now I got this because here I have used a full name like average. So then you can get the 48. Average is nothing but it is doing the total by number. So that is nothing but this whole sum with divided by 340. This is like a average one. So you can also see this is the average one, average number. This is what I've selected only 5 rows, 5 rows ka average. So that's where you learn the basics like a sum, average and count. And you can also get, like, if I want to understand like which is the maximum max of this whole thing. So this is the maximum, highest one. So like that you can see maximum, minimum. So otherwise the next method is nothing but you can sort and you can get the highest one, or you can filter the highest one. So in this way, like you can sort and you can get the highest values or lowest values in this way. So let's also see. This is done. And like this is a pop-up where like the most frequently used functions you can see here. Let's also go into a logic where you are using some condition. Let's say if I want to, here I have quantity, here I have, okay, let's give some condition and just add. I want something like which are greater than 117, only add me those numbers. Let's say I'll filter which are less than 10. That means quantity. Here you have quantities which are less than 10. I want to sum only this one. So you can see this is the sum, this is the count. You have like 23, that means 22, the header is removed. And this is an average of all the 22 22 orders. So every time I can't go and I can not specify if the particular, like I want this condition, I can't do manual. So then what can I do is like I have something like sum if and average if, count if. Count if is nothing but it is giving you a specific condition. Sum if. That means, so it is asking me, let's say I'm removing the filter. See, if you are filtering, the previous text is missing. That means it is selected only the particular columns. You can see 1, 9, 25. So if you change anything here, again it will go back to the previous cells. So it is not in an order. It is better to go to the original and then only do whichever the manipulations you have. Sum if, I'll say which range you want. This is a whole range. Like you want to select this range or this range. So let me show you. First understand if condition. I think you can better go with if and then sum if. So if is nothing but, I just mentioned you, if is nothing but a condition where you are specifying, okay, I want something that's greater than, then only I want to see which is greater than values, only less than values. So there you use conditional values if. If is nothing but, let's say here you have name, score, result. So I'll say like above 35 is like pass, below 35 is like fail. So here I'll try to give is equals to if, and the condition is like here, the score is a main column. So the range you have to select from the score, because that is the ultimate decision where you are seeing. If the score is more, then only you are making the decision. That's why you have to select the score column which is in the C, and you are saying greater than equal to 70, then you say pass, otherwise you say fail. So then what it is giving me? So it is just giving me pass and fail. Let's also do in the Excel, just look into the PPT. So you have furthermore, like if you want to add 2-3 conditions, then you can use if with or if with and. So what happened if you use or and and? Let's see. So before that, or is nothing but you want to select any of the both condition, and is nothing but you want 2 or more conditions to be existed. So here, let's go back. Let's see. Before sum if, let's go into if. The main logic is like revenue, I'm saying. So let's say here I want a quantity which is this cell is greater than or equal. Just now I said like less than equal to 10. That means I want to create it as good. Otherwise, I'll say it as bad. Just an example. So this is bad. Why it is bad? Because it is not less than 10. So let's now keep here. If I give if open, logical test is nothing but I am saying this condition must be less than or equal to 10. I gave the condition, comma. I'm saying good in strings, and I'm also saying bad in strings because this is a decision factor. You have to give the strings. Strings are nothing but you are highlighting the cell. This good, greater, good. Here you have few bad. Why? Less than 10, greater than 10. Greater than 10, I gave it as a good. Less than 10, I gave it as a bad. So in that way, if you want any condition, you can specify in terms of if. So if with or is nothing but you can also use like two conditions. Like I want country Congo and this which is greater than. So if you want two conditions and if you want to select, then you can use and. Then you can use or in that way. So let's say this is the if condition basically. So here you want to get something like sum if. Any doubts in the if? See here, if with or and is nothing but you are specifying the two conditions. Let's say color red as well as green. You want to see B6 should have red and green, then only give me a decision of X. Otherwise, it should not be this. So you are saying like I want red with combination small. I want red if it is like red with medium, don't give me. I want red and small, then give me. So you're taking two conditions, then it is and. If you want only a single condition, like only red or green in a single, or then it will give you like you can take it in a or way. Simply simple nested if is nothing but if you are giving two conditions of if. I'm not saying just like green and small. I'm just saying like two different conditions. So here you are saying something like here you have empty value also. So then empty value means I'm saying if I have empty, pass, fail, incomplete. So if I have empty, I'm giving incomplete. And then also I'm giving like again, if it is greater than 65, it is pass and fail. So here you have multiple conditions. That's why you are using nested if. Nested if is nothing but having more than single if, like more than single condition. So it is giving into a nested if. That is about ifs. And now let's go back to sum if. So let's see here. Count, we have count if, sum if, and average if. Let's see. Count. If count is nothing but it is counting the entire row. Like if I say entire column T, it will count me the number and it will show me like this is like 5010. So now if I say I want to add some condition to the count also, I'll say count if open bracket which range I want to select. I'll select this range and what is the criteria you want. So criteria is nothing but I want so what happened? So count if is nothing but I am counting with the help of this values. Let's say here I have different product names. The total product is like 5010. Out of this, I want to count only American Pencil. Then what I'm doing, I'm trying to give a condition where I'm selecting whole P and I'm also selecting only American Pencil. Then it is giving me this. Let's also see a different name. Count if range. This is like a product name. I'm going to product name. I'm giving this particular name. Like I want count how many counts of security 10 is there. Then I'll say 4. So like if you go back and count, like you can cross check whether you have same number or not. So let's say I'm going and checking the different number. So here also count if range is this one and your criteria is like I want to count this particular number 6. So you have New Well 6 and you have American Pencil 4. So again, you can also similar to that if you want sum if, like sum and if. Now I can't go to the product. Like sum is nothing but you are trying to do the sum of all the profit. So here you're like profit or quantity, you have sales. So just go to the sales because you have to select a numerical number, not the text number. For the count, if you have text or if you have numerical number, it will count. But some you can do it for the numbers only, numerical numbers only. So if you have the criteria, let's say should be greater than okay. I'll try to do it with this American Pencil only. First, I'll select this one, this range, and my criteria is this. Sum is to this. So how I did this sum if is nothing but, so if I want to count the number of how like sales of American Pencil. So here I am trying to filter out the American Pencil. I am cross-checking to show you like whether the numbers are correct or not. So instead of just scrolling, like you can search here. Like you can add the current selection also. Here I've selected the sum of sales. You can see 34.95 is my sum and average is 8.7. So let's go back now. 34.95 is my sum and I'm also doing average. Spelling should be in caps. Average if. Again, same criteria you can use. Count if also you can use, average if also you can use. We also have like some ifs. Ifs is nothing but if you have two conditions. Let's say you can see this blue, like if is nothing but you have only one condition. Ifs and if is different, don't get confused. Like here, if I use the ifs, what happens? You have two criteria ranges. Now I'll say the sales also. Now I'll say, like, let's say here bookcase plus American pencil, I want the sum of sales. So like that you can use that. And average if is also same. And then you have something like, so this is about the logical functions. Okay, so now let's go into text functions because our time is going fast. So text functions is nothing but like, let's say whichever the things we saw, it is like a numerical numbers. Now let's say I want to see in terms of text. I have first name, last name, and if I want something like, this is like in a small letters, I want to convert small into capital, then what I'll do, upper is the function which converts the whole text into the capital. So this is converted my text into capital. Now what I did is, like, I did a double click. That means the double click, it is going to select for all, like the function is selected for this upper E6, upper E4, upper E3. That means you are applying the function, the formula for the whole cell. Now let's say I want to convert into lower, like I don't want the uppercase, I don't want caps, I want small letters. I'll say lower. It became into a small letter. I'll double click it. So the function is applied for all the cells. So now I want something like capital R, and like first letter should be in capital and all letters should be in small. Let's say all this are like this. Now here Suman, I want first letter capital, other letters should be in a lowercase. Proper is a function which helps the text to convert first caps and the next into a small. So this is where you can use proper. And similarly, you have left, right, and middle. Let's say here I have two separate names. I want to club into a single name. Then what I'll do? So here Suman Shinde I have. I want as a single name. I use concatenate. This helps me to merge two cells. Not merge, to add the two texts basically. So now what I did is, like, both cells are became into a single. Let's say I don't want, like I want some gap in between. I don't want directly. Then I'll say, I'll give comma, some gap string, and then I'll convert. So now you can see the space. Here similarly, I gave something like a underscore. Like that, if you have and or also you can keep and you can concatenate. So what is left? It gives you the strings which are present in the left, let's say. So it is taking the text from the left side. In this also you can specify something like, in the left, I want text, and I'm also giving, I want SUM, 3 letters. Is taking me, like if I want something like specific only 3 letters, 2 letters, it will calculate from the left side. Similarly, right is nothing but it will take from the right. If I say right and 3, it will show you NDE. Like if I say right and the number, it will go from the right. Left is nothing but it will go from the left. Middle is nothing but it will ask you from the left I want 2 letters, from the right I want 2 letters, then you will give like ANS. This is like middle. And what is the text you want? Let's say I want this text, and you are say my starting number should be 3 and my ending is like 2. So it will give you, it will count from starting and from the ending, whichever the numbers you want. So here you have the space in between 2 numbers. That's why you got Raja. Like if you don't have space, it will take you the full number. So these are the basic text functions, whichever text you have. And in this, you also have something like trim, and you have length. Let's say if you want something, if you want to find what is the length of this particular uh, name. Length is nothing but I want to calculate the number of strings present, number of letters present in this name. So 11. So that means you can calculate, sorry, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. So length is nothing but it is trying to calculate the length. Trim is nothing but you can trim the extra spaces and replace proper, all these things you can use, which comes under the text. Now let's see what are the date functions. So date is nothing but, so we'll go back to like date is almost we have covered in the first custom dates. So let's say I have this particular date. From this date, I want to get a month or day. Let's say I'm saying month from this particular text. Is in decimal. So 1 is nothing but January is month. So that's why it is giving me 1. Let's say I want to take a date out of it. Then I'll say day from this particular date. You will get 6. 6 is nothing but day. So you have a day, month, and year. Similarly, if you have something like this, 1, 2, so month, year, month, MMDD, 2009. Now I want to club all this. I'll say date of, this is my day, this is my month, and this is my year. Overall, it will give me like that particular year. Like just go back and set your general format, because I did not set the format. It is showing me a different number. But if you have MMDDYY, then you can easily get like whichever the date you have, and you can get like time, like now also. Now is nothing but it will show you something like particular hour as well as second. So that is date. So you can see if you give date of this all three things, it will show you in terms of date format, year format. So date and time function today. Now is nothing but you can also see the time of the particular this hour, like it will show you 8:54. This is about year, month, and now the very important thing, lookups. I think we pretty much covered so many things in Excel. Just wind up with 2 more things. So here I have a party code. If you see here, I have a party code and I want to get back the political party. So we already have a table. So let's say party name is 2. Its name is like reform, and party name is 8. It's humanist. So if I have A, I want to get the democratic. So it should fetch me the democratic and it should give me. I don't want A. I just want like democracy. So if I go back here, now I can say like A is democratic. If you have huge number of data, you can't manually search and just copy and paste this one. So what I can do is like I have something like VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP it will capture you, which is a looking up value. I'm looking for the A value from which table, from this table. So I'll try to select from the first initial table and I'm selecting the whole table. It is giving me the whole table and it is asking me the column index. Which column? Column is nothing but A is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want second column and then I want, it is asking me the true value, like you want exact match or like approximate. I'm saying like I want the exact match. Now see, it is directly giving me the democracy. Now I also gave something like Republic. This is B, Republican. D is like American independent. So I just copied like whole formula. You can see D is nothing but American independent, B is Republican. So VLOOKUP is very important when you are manipulating the data. Similarly, you have something like HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP is nothing but it is in a horizontal table, vertical table. You have the similar formula. You should be very careful when you are selecting the table, like the range of table. So like that's where you will end up doing many mistakes. So just select the proper table and then you can get. So that's about VLOOKUP. Like formulas, you can see the lookup values. And the next thing, okay, this is also one more important. Let's say I'm taking a fresh table. I want to get data from other sources. Let's say I want to get the file from different sources like Excel, CSV file, or different files. So I am extracting a different file. So I'll take, so here I have something like data set. So import. By importing, what happens is like I'm just directly, I'm not copying and pasting. I'm just importing the whole data, which is present in data set, this one, into my Excel. So here I have a lot of data. So it is asking me to load the data or transform data. Load is nothing but this whole entire data will load in this. Transform is nothing but it will transform. So this will give you this format. I just loaded. Similarly, if you load, you will get this. So this is the same table which I've loaded. So that's why you are directly conditional formatted. So, and you also need to check whether whichever the loading data is like huge or less. So let's say here you have 10 lakh rows. If this is like huge, you will have that 10 lakh till the 10 lakh row. So you can connect it from database, Azure, and different platforms. So that's where like whenever you're doing in a high complicated things, you will use this. And after doing this, like you can refresh all. Refresh all is nothing but whichever the manipulations you did, it will refresh and it will populate the latest one. So this is about refresh and all. So refresh, it is taking time. Similar to that, let's understand the data tools and forecast, and then we'll go back to the dashboard. So text to columns is nothing but, let's see. Okay. Here I have two names at a time. Now I'll say like, I don't want two names. I want Jimmy in one column and the other one in different. So I'll go to text to columns. Then I'll go to delimited, next. And I want to separate by using the space. Then I want to do next, finish. Jimmy and Michael's. So from the single text, I have converted into two different columns. That's where you use the text to columns. And this is where remove duplicates. Remove duplicates is nothing but like when you select, like you can highlight the cell and you can delete the duplicate one. Let's say I'll just write here itself, I'll write you have two different D's here. Okay. Now I'll say remove duplicate. Okay. One second. So whenever you are deleting something, just I'm copying and I'm trying to paste in a different sheet to understand. Paste. So here I can see 21565. This is the number of things I have. Now I'll say remove duplicates from this. Yes. All the duplicates are removed, verified and unconfirmed. This is the original data and other things are duplicates. So removing duplicates is the major thing when you are manipulating, and removing null values is also a major thing. So all this helps you. Then you have something like pivot charts and pivot columns. This is lookup value. Charts is nothing but in the Excel also you can do visualization using the different charts, and you can also create a different like line chart, bar chart, and different charts with the given data. So pivot table, from the table itself you can also deep dive into a pivot chart. So from this you can also do something like you can analyze simple charts also. So next is like dashboarding. Let me just wind up with the dashboarding. So in the dashboard is nothing but if you want to build something chats and the text at a time and you want to showcase to your clients. So I can't directly show my data and say like this is the highest, this is the lowest. So if you want to show something like this is the cost, this is my budget, so you can directly, like instead of using the visualization tools, you can also use it in a simple Excel. So this is like year and this is the cost, this is the revenue profit of this particular business. So I'll just show to my client like here this is the area we can improve, this here this is the area we are lagging behind. So dashboards helps us to clear understand of like whatever the like whichever the given data you have, you can simplified version with a good visualization is nothing but a dashboard. So yes, this is about all about the Excel, and macros and VBA is also like one of the part. So macro is nothing but if you have a set, like in the Excel also you can do a set of programming language which helps you to understand, like if you are trying to do a continuous repetitive work. So there you can use macros and VBA, which helps us to reduce the repetitive task. So VBA is nothing but visual basics of application. This is a scripting language. Let's say here I'll show you a just example. See the macro. So I just want to run this button. So here you have in the developer tab, you have macros and VBA visualization. Before I'll do a run, is giving me a pop-up. So this pop-up is nothing but behind that I wrote a script which is saying me like give a message box of welcome and write a scripting language like this. So I'll say I'll write the language and I'll say run. One second. Yeah, so like in this way, like you can use a repetitive task and you want to simplify, you can give the command in the VBA and then just do a command for the macros. So this is about how we can use macros and VBA. That becomes in your like advanced Excel where you can use that. So yeah, that's about the today's session. And like if you have any doubts, like you can ask. So like if you want to understand Excel, like it's a huge thing. So 2 hours is also not enough for us to complete this. Okay, good night, Swaraj. But it's an important topic. Like if you keep on practicing, then you can understand.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Guys, if you have any queries, you can just drop out that in the chat box, or else we can go ahead and end the session.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Good night.
I guess there are no queries for the participants or for anyone. And guys, I have just posted the feedback link in the chat box. You can just go ahead and rate to our tutor so that it can help us to improve in the sessions. And about
Yeah.
the recordings and all, you can get that in the drive. You will be getting update on that. Don't worry, because you already are into the WhatsApp chats and all. You will be having communication with our team over there.
Yes, we'll be sharing all the Excel and the PPTs, PDF to your account. So don't worry.
I guess there are no queries, so we can just go ahead and end the session. Thank you, Vaiswaja, once again for the wonderful session. And thank you guys for your participation in the session. Have a great day, great weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye.